So hi guys, we are joined here today with Renae from Bake Mixes. Now Renae joins us from over in the UK, here to share her backstory on how Bake Mixes has come about. So welcome Renae, and thank you for joining us in the early mornings.
Thanks for
over
having
there.
me. Not too bad. Just excuse the under eye bags, but apart from that, it's so lovely to be here.
Oh, fantastic. Now, Renae, as I mentioned, you guys have an absolutely fantastic backstory. Tell us a little bit about how Bake Mixes has come to life.
Okay, so I mean, initially, Bake Mixes came about. I was on MasterChef in Australia and became a little bit known as the vegetarian quirky one, and was cooking vegan foods and then gluten-free things and all of that sort of stuff. So when I left the show, I did a lot of cooking in India, South Africa, and a few other places. And whilst I was trying to be super fancy and make all of these gourmet restaurant quality dishes, I would constantly have people email me saying, actually, do you have any like healthy snacks, or do you know how to make banana bread but make it gluten-free or healthy? And so I realized that whilst I wanted to cook all of these fancy things, it's actually not what people wanted to hear from me. They wanted to hear more about what can we make every day that we can eat and not feel guilty about, or that we can feed to our kids. So I started looking around and came up with Bake Mixes and decided that, you know, that was the company that I wanted to go forward with. And the rest has kind of been history. We released a couple of new products this year, and I'm hoping to release some more next year. And yeah, it's just been a bit of a journey.
So now you've got some incredible mixes in the range, and I have to say, I'll put my hands up for trying quite a few of them, and I absolutely love them. There's a lot of things that I love about them. Tell us a little bit about what's in the range and what sort of, I guess, variety you have available.
Yeah. So I tried to make things, I guess, that suit everybody. So they're not too fancy and they're not too indulgent. They're designed to just be a part of what you eat every day. So we have muffins that can also be baked into loaves or cakes. So we have a chocolate and acai, which is insane. It's kind of my take on the chocolate raspberry taste. And then we've got a banana and cinnamon, which is one of our biggest sellers. And that can also be baked into a banana bread. So that one is like insanely good. Then we've got more lunchboxy style snacks. So we've got muesli bars and cookies. So we've got a cranberry and coconut, as well as a or cacao chip, which is my take on a choc chip. Then we've got, what else? We've got bliss balls. So the raw cacao bliss balls are insanely good. And we've just released a turmeric and lemon one, which tastes like cheesecake, and it's probably my favorite one. And then pancakes was also launched this year. So we figured that we'd got all the lunchbox stuff sorted, but what about like on weekends when kids want to get involved in the kitchen? So we did a blueberry and cinnamon and a matcha and vanilla pancake, and they've gone better than I expected. Actually, they're really good sellers, and they're really nice. Like that. So I really wanted the mixes to be something that kids could get involved with. So something easy, first of all. Something that can be made with whatever you've got in the cupboard. So it was important to me that you didn't have to use coconut oil. You could use sunflower oil if you wanted, or honey or maple syrup, or put some whatever you feel like. So I try and made it adaptable. And then they're also safe for kids. So they're healthy, they're easy, and there's no nasties in there. So you're not putting eggs in, for example. So if kids want to eat the batter, no problem. Let them lick the spoon, let them lick the bowl. They're not going to get sick. There's no dairy, there's no, none of these things that could be allergens for kids. They're just not in it. So you can kind of let kids go wild with it and experiment and kind of learn to have the joy of making something from scratch without absolutely any worries that they're going to get sick or muck anything up. So that's kind of one of the reasons I made them like that as well.
And I think that's one of the main things that I love about this product, is that when it's easy for kids to make and they can enjoy it, it actually inspires them to want to cook in the kitchen and, learn what foods are more nutritious for them, but also taste good as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's so important. And it starts a healthy relationship with food.
Now, tell us about the food sensitivities. We touched on it earlier and we have spoken about it, because I love the fact that each one of your products can cater to a number of different food sensitivities. So what are they? What does it cater to, I should say?
Yeah, so basically, I looked at the common allergens. So obviously gluten-free is something that's come up a lot more recently. So whether you're gluten-free because you're celiac or gluten-free because you may just have a sensitivity, so that there, I think there's importance to understand that there is both sides. We have 7 of our mix, 7 of 9 of them are completely gluten-free. The other 2 have oats, and obviously oats do contain gluten. So we make sure that we separate that. But then all of our mixes, every single one is wheat-free, 100% wheat-free, dairy-free, and egg-free. And they're the 3 that I think parents really do worry about, that, you know, and then you obviously go further down into your nuts. So we do use almond meal, but we obviously talk about that. But the tree nuts and sesame and things are definitely things that we've kept out. So where possible, again, as we were saying, that base of what you've got in the packet is as free from as many things that I can possibly have, so that it can suit everybody. And if you want to put walnuts in your banana mix, then I've got an instruction there of how you can do that. So we've kept it out, but you can put it in very easily so that it's what you like.
What is the most popular product out there?
Yeah, so definitely the banana and cinnamon mix is hugely popular. The muffins go in school lunch boxes, the banana bread goes in toasters. People love that one. The blueberry and cinnamon pancakes are like huge. People love those. That's on par almost with the banana muffins. And surprisingly, actually, the turmeric and lemon bliss ball mix, funny enough, when I was recipe testing, it wasn't getting the feedback that I thought, but I was a bit stubborn because I loved it so much that I was like, nope, we're putting it in, we're making it anyway. And we sold out, I think, in 4 hours of that one when I launched it. And I was like, oh no. So I had to order more bags, order more ingredients, and try and do a quick run of it. My favorite mix, though, weirdly, is the muesli bars. I love the muesli bars so much. And they're one that I try and get people to try, because I think it probably doesn't sound that great, but it is I think the best tasting mix. It's so delicious.
Now tell us, you mentioned before that they can be quite adaptable in ways of that you've seen people prepare them. What's some of the most interesting ways that you've seen a product or a particular product?
I think one of the most clever ones that I've seen is the bliss balls. Both of them I've seen being used as the base of a cheesecake. So instead of rolling them in balls, I've seen, so the chocolate or the turmeric, people have pressed them into a cake tin and then put like cheesecake toppings on top. One lady did a tofu cheesecake with the cacao bliss balls. Oh, it looked so good. So they're definitely like 2 adaptations that I think, are really clever. And then we've had people bake the cakes or the muffin mixes into cakes. And we had one lady make a 5-tiered cake for a work, you know how you take work things in, and I was like, oh my god. So she'd like gone all out, like staff member of the week, with this 5-tiered cacao and acai cake. It just looks insane.
Now talk to us about the shelf life for these. What sort of shelf life do they have?
At the moment we're at 18 months from the day we make them. So usually that would give you 12 months maximum, sort of when you purchase them, and by the time we get everything sort of done, because obviously we also have to look at the ingredients that we put in. So if some of the ingredients are less, then you're going to get maybe 9 months or something like that. But they do have a super long shelf life. You if you get a packet, you don't have to use it within a couple of weeks. You've got at least a few 6 months or something like that. So
and good luck if you still have it on your shelf in 3 months time. Good luck.
I know, exactly.
Now, we talked about it earlier offline, and it's one thing I do want to bring up, because I guess your story around your packaging is just such a beautiful story on how products are packaged, where they're packaged, and how they get distributed. So please fill us in on that process. Yeah.
So we chose to partner with a company that's called the Endeavour Foundation. So they're based in Sydney. So it was important for me, first of all, that the products were made in Australia. I didn't want them made in somewhere overseas and then shipped over on a boat and all of that kind of carbon footprint. So we wanted them to be made in Australia. And then we found this company called the Endeavour Foundation, who is they're an employer that hires people who are not necessarily going to find it easy to get jobs at other places. They may have learning difficulties, they may have physical disabilities, lots of different things, and they basically have supervisors that work with these people and They work out in Western Sydney and work to there, basically give them a chance to show that they can work, and they do a great job.
What is your number one health tip?
So my number one health tip is everything in moderation. That's probably how I feel about it. I think if you try and limit yourself, and if you feel ashamed when you do something, then that's the worst thing for you. So I think enjoy yourself, but everything in moderation.
And do you have a favorite quote or motto?
Oh, I do actually. So obviously in business, one of my friends, when I was starting up my businesses, I was panicking trying to be everything for everybody. And do I charge too much or this? And he sat me down and he said, you have to give away good in order to receive great. So it was that kind of not being afraid to go, okay, yes, but if I put the price up and try and make a profit, I'm going to lose sales. And he used to say, you have to give away just good, and you have to always aim for great. So that was something that I think of a lot when I start panicking, that I'm like, nope, I'm aiming for great, not just good.
One last question. What does it mean for a company like Bake Mixers to be on Yo Life?
It's actually helpful for people to be able to find my product. That's, I know I have faith that if people try my products, they're going to keep buying them. But as a small business owner, it's how do you reach these people who want to try your products without, spending $7,000 a month on Facebook or something like that. So to be able to partner with a company who has the same moral compass and who has the same goals and who wants to speak to the same people, then it's an honor, I guess, to be kind of categorized in with all of the companies that are trying to do good for people, for the world, and for health. I think it's lovely. It's like a little community. It's really exciting.